Alrighty, hello everyone and welcome to the first NEF1 race in several years without a qualifying session. We are here for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, the first sprint event of the last couple of seasons. And this sprint race format's a bit different. The Championship Top 10, which quintessentially is the top 10 from the last championship race, have been reversed to make a bit of an interesting starting grid. We have 9 laps worth of a sprint to set the starting order for the 25 lap Grand Prix that's coming up a bit later on tonight. We are going to go through the starting grid to see what's what, and whilst we do that, we're also going to be going over the championship standings quintessentially. So I'll go have a look immediately. And as you can see there, Wigan starting on pole position this race, meaning he is 10th in the championship. Wilco starting in P2, he's 9th in the championship. And so down. We have Max in P3 and Iwatts in 4th place. We have Noah in 5th and Jamar in 6th. Following Holman, Tess, Matty and Squidge. Luna, P11th in the championship, just misses out on that sprint pole position. She starts 11th. It's going to be a tricky race for these guys just outside the top 10, but they're going to be able to follow the fast guys potentially through the field, and this will become a very, very interesting scenario a couple of laps into this sprint race. I reckon about lap 4 or 5, then we're going to have everyone caught up in the middle of it. Emrena, 1980s Wildcat, Ray, A33BT, Recon Kit, Djokovic, and we welcome to the league this season Darren Style, who's absent the first race of the season. We are bound to have a very, very interesting day. We're just going to give them a couple of moments to get their setups in order and get ready for the sprint race that's coming up in a little bit. So I'm just trying to work out a technical issue with one of our drivers as well, just give him some advice as to how to mitigate those issues. Matty Adams saying, I'm not ready for this at all, I'm scared. And this is the first time we've ever done any type of reverse grid. It's not a full reverse grid. It's going to be very, very interesting. Okay, yes, I think we're coming up. We're going to give it about 1 more minute. So, let's have a couple of reactions in the chat. How's everyone feeling about this particular format that is so very, very different to what we've had before? Couple of interesting stuff for sure. Wigan now with a very good opportunity if he can get a good launch to collect some big championship points. He's won a race in NEF1 before. Can he win a sprint race in NEF1 as well is the question. Who else are we looking at potentially? Iwatts, Noah, very good opportunities as well. Noah very, very fast on his day. He has Jamer and Holman as protection behind him before Tess, Matty, Adam and Squidge come onto the scene. Is Luna going to be able to get involved in that battle? Is Emrena going to get involved? What is Wildcat going to be able to do? An F1 newcomer from P13 on the field. We shall wait and see. Iwatts, he's won several races in NEF1 esports previously. What is he going to be able to do starting from 4th on the grid? Mr. Wilco got a couple of podiums last season. Marcus still awaiting his first big result, but might it come here in the Vegas sprint? The top 8 score points. We will be very, very excited to see what is what. I can confirm as well that just now the ready up has been given, will be going in 30 seconds for the Vegas Grand Prix. A circuit with overtaking, definitely possible, but the skill gap could be rather big around here as well. We'll wait and see what happens. We're just a couple of moments away from the Las Vegas sprint race, and the F1 round 2 is coming right up at you. There we go. As you can see as well, bit of a difficult start for certain people towards the back that are starting at a angle. See Kit, for example, starting with a left-hand turn. If you go to the inside, that's made even worse, for example, by Djokovic, who's going to have to start this race whilst turning left. A couple of people stationary on the grid. Noah and Iwat not going anywhere off the line. We'll keep an eye on that. But they are stuck there in 4th and 5th. They'll be welcome back for the Grand Prix. No formation lap for the likes of them. Well, what is going on? Just going to have to double check that. So I think they had a collision, which means it's not too serious. Let's see if that turns into an after-race investigation. But as for any terms of strategy, I don't think it's going to be too interesting. Medium tyres will take you the full 9 laps to the end of this race. Pit stops are allowed, they are not mandatory. We have a chance of a safety car to see how much of this race that could occupy. We shall wait and see. But that's in terms of the strategy. There shouldn't really be any strategy at play tonight. Aston on board with SFLY, Jamar, Marcus, Wigan, Mr. Wilco, your top 3 for this race. Wigan being there after finishing in P10 last race out in Kota, one of the trickier circuits on the calendar, especially on this game. It's going to be very, very fun to see what Wigan's going to be able to do around this Vegas street circuit. See if it suits his style a bit better. Mr. Wilco starting from P2, what is he going to be able to do alongside the Ferrari-powered Haas of Mr. Wilco? And then Marcus, who maybe is just a bit sharper than Wigan, at least last season. Mr. Wilco, though, in a very good position if you're looking at the championship to maybe get ahead with an early lead if Wigan, Marcus, Iwat and Noah start scrapping next couple of laps. Could we have a surprise winner over 9 laps around this Vegas street circuit? I certainly hope so. Let's wait and see. 10 points are on the line, no points for fastest lap. It's 10.86, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down to the place currently being occupied by Tester in P8. So it's 10 points for the win, 8 points for P2, 6 points for P3, then 5 for 4th, 4 for 5th, and onwards down to 1 point for 8th, no points for fastest lap. Got the Chrome McLaren of Matty Adam and Ray there all lined up. Ray at that awkward angle we was just discussing a bit earlier, and we are all set to go for the Vegas sprint race here in NEF1. The long-awaited return of the sprint has come. Let's go. We have 5 red lights, and it is lights out, and away we go for the Vegas Grand Prix. And Mr. Wilco has got a good launch. So has Wigan, who's just going to be able to cover off into turn 1. Mac is going to have a look down around the outside of Iwat, who's come steaming in. He's spun. Iwat is spun after turn 1, and that could have massive consequences on his Vegas Grand Prix, because now he will have to do a recovery job through this sprint race onwards to the Grand Prix, because this also sets the starting positions for that Grand Prix. Wigan holds the lead from Mr. Wilco, Jamar, Noah, Marcus. Tests had a good start, and Wilco's in the wall, outbreaking himself into turn 4, and that is clumsy from Mr. Wilco, who has also compromised his Grand Prix just then. And Tess has had a dream start already after just a couple of corners up into 5th place. Off the track, though, he's going to allow Holman to steam down his inside, and this is the kind of issues that could prove for the quicker guys, because you've got not slow guys ahead of you. And I'm just now looking at Noah, for example. Is he going to be able to make it past Jamar and Wigan quite quickly and try to go away with a bit of a lead here to take a massive, massive advantage in the drivers' standings? Not as a leader, but as one of the absolute top contenders. We have him Rain as well, potentially out of this lobby. Just going to give him an invite real quick. Be right back with you. And it's the lovely issue of connection issues. There we go. Marina has been sent another invite. Wigan leads this race after lap 1 from Jamar and Noah. He's got a very, very good start. Wigan out of trouble. And now Tess has to deal with Holman, and Mac is ahead of him. And what could be a massive DRS train in the couple of laps to come. Here we go then. Tess rounds the outside of Holman into turn 1 potentially. Is he going to have a go for it? Yes, he absolutely is. Tess tries. Holman just covers it off. Tess not going to be able to go down inside the next corner, and now the DRS train will be in effect. Holman opens his rear wing. He's going to be difficult to overtake at this stage, and is Jamar going to be able to have a little look at Wigan 71 potentially into the first braking zone after the DRS straight? No. Mr. Wilco, Djokovic their misery continues, both in the pit lane after the first lap. Djokovic only down 1 position, ironically, on the start, but he will not be moving anywhere this sprint unless we have a safety car. So then, Wigan, Jamar, Noah, Marcus, Holman, and Tess. Squidge is right behind him. Luna's made her way up into the top 8. Matty and Recon both, Matty and Ray both outside the points. That goes for Recon as well, who's down in P11. But right now, crucial points being gained by Tess, but he would like to gain just a couple more. Now is he going to be able to line up a move on Holman, as we might have a move for the lead of the Grand Prix just coming up. Jamar won here the first time we went to Vegas for a Grand Prix back in Season 7, and now he takes the lead of the Vegas sprint. Noah, is he going to have a little look at Wigan down the straight? Wigan's just able to defend away from that as we move on to the beginning of lap 3. Quite soon, and Marcus has had a problem. He is round, coming off the Vegas strip, and he is now going to be in a heap of trouble for the Grand Prix as well. Got to be careful on the rejoin, but he just finds a little slot to move into just behind his teammate there, and that has given Tess a bit of work to do now. 1.2 seconds up to Noah, but Tess up at a P4 with 6 laps to go, and he's going to be able to do a little bit of work from that position. Now it's crucial for Wigan to maintain DRS gap to Jamar to try to solidify these 8 points in the championship standings. Luna is up into up to P7 with that mistake from Marcus. Oh, that could have given Marcus quite significant points there. Tess might struggle getting through this traffic. We'll wait and see. He's got him through Holman. Now, though, he'll have Noah to deal with, who can be and will be quite aggressive in defense for these extra couple of points. Keep in mind, 10, 8, 6, 5 is the points distribution. Noah right now, if he's to defend against Tess, is only going to be defending 1 point. He's going to be attacking for an additional 2 points to Wigan ahead of him. Crucial for Noah now that Wigan just drops back a little bit on Jamar. Doesn't get the defensive DRS, but he will. As for what is going on a bit later back, Holman's had a bad accident. That's going to mean Luna will be right on his tail. So let's see then. Luna versus Holman's a drag race down into the next corner. Noah's just on the back of Wigan. I think he's going to get past him here. Wigan and Noah side by side. Are they going to make contact? We'll switch over and see. Noah's made a clean overtake, and now it's crucial for Tess to get by Wigan as fast as he can. He's going to waste no time in doing so. Wigan moving backwards here, but we're about halfway into the sprint race now. Wigan tries to hold it around the outside, but I don't think there's too much in fighting this one. Tess, Wigan alongside each other. Wigan has to yield, and Tess is into the top 3. He has left Squidge and Matty behind this sprint race as well, and starting from P8 instead of P10 was absolutely an advantage for the previous NEF1 champion. Right now, he's got Noah and Jamar ahead of him, and a potential start on pole position for the Grand Prix, and this really could be advantageous to Tess for the Grand Prix if he can get that crucial P1 or P2 start and try to get a jump on his championship rivals, which right now, Squidge and Matty Adams. So then, Jamar leads this race from Noah and Tess, and the question is, are those two going to start just working together a little bit to try to make sure Tess is not getting through? They're in separate teams, might be having a little battle for the for constructors' position, but I think they'll be quite happy working together as well to solidify their points. We'll wait and see. Tess is going to struggle getting past the DRS train, but he might not, because right now as we're coming up to the strip, Noah's not getting much of a slipstream off SFLY Jamers. Just try to pull ahead a little bit. Noah's doing everything he can to not allow Tess to get by, and that is entertaining racing indeed. That was a lot of battery being dumped there by Noah 48 just to stay ahead of the Red Bull. Now, how is this going to progress? If this was a teammate scenario, it'd be a nightmare for Tess. It isn't, but are we still just going to have a little bit of teamwork between the two to keep Tess behind them? They know Tess has the natural pace over both of them, but if they do this, they might just be able to keep the championship contender at bay. Meanwhile, Wiggins had a problem with Luna, and he is plummeting down positions. Luna's up to P4 with that. Did they have contact? What is going on? They're going 3 wide into the next corner. Luna's with a loss of momentum sticks it down the inside of Holman, who sweeps by. Now Matty's on her tail. Ray is on her tail. Squidge down 2 positions now, is the championship leader. Squidge 2017, and this is what they've got to be very, very careful of. Heartbreak there for Wigan 71, starting on provisional, or starting on sprint pole position. Now down outside of points in P10. That contact will most likely be looked at after the race, you would imagine. Now then, coming onto the Vegas Strip, and what is Tess going to be able to do down this Vegas Strip? And how is Jamar going to be able to defend against both Noah and Tess? Because Noah surely will want that win as well. He's not won anything in NEF1 yet, has Noah 48. We'll see if he decides to go for it, or if he's happy solidifying that 8-point gain. Tess, though, with a massive slipstream, though, is he going to send one down the inside of the strip? No, he doesn't quite yet. On lap 5, entering lap 6 out of 9. We're more than halfway into this race now, as Matty is just now running behind Luna with a damaged front wing. It's the Alpine. She's not going to want to pit, though, with just a couple of laps to go. It's better to stick it out and try to get a decent finishing position. Crucial for Matty, though, to start another position up and maybe, just maybe, try to get Tess on the race start, as Luna now is a bit all over the place without that front wing. And this is proving to be one hell of an entertaining format for a sprint race. I quite enjoy this. I've always been religiously against any sort of reverse grid racing, but it's actually proven to be quite entertaining, as we have the worst angle we've had tonight of Ray W25 following Holman, and we just keep getting bad angles. Please give us a good one, that's better. As Holman's just doing everything he can to stay ahead of Rain inside the points, as Matty now 3.7 seconds behind Tess, but crucially is the car directly behind Tess. Luna's dropped the position, but she's going to be slipper in a straight line. Matty's going to have no DRS to play with once he enters this next corner complex. Now here we go then, with 3 times to go this Vegas Strip. Jamar, Noah and Tess is your current grid order. And oh, how this could be entertaining and critical for the Constructors' Championship as well. Here comes Tess then. He's going to give it everything to get by Noah this time. Noah defends the outside. Is he going to be able to hang that on? Are we going to have any contact? Tess got to be wary of that. But now he's able to force his way through, and that is brilliant by Tess. Shows the class of a champion, and now he has 1 move to go. Jamar has to defend a couple of more laps. If Tess is to bring this home, if I'm not mistaken, he'll be just shy of the championship lead. He'll be bringing home a couple of extra points on Squidge 2017. And might be equal to Matty, who's dropped a couple of positions actually. Squidge's up to P4 now with Luna in 5th and Matty in 6th. As to how that's happened, I don't quite know. As for Noah, did everything he could to keep Tess behind him, just wasn't quite enough in the end, and that could be to the detriment of SFLY Jamar, currently sitting in 1st place. Might not be able to consolidate that one, we'll see, but Tess right now is looking very, very on it. Man who started P8, currently sitting in P2 and looking for P1. Quite a lot of gainers this race, quite a lot of losers as well. Recon's had a very, very good race. Up 7 positions. You just see how Noah's moving around a little bit, not in the braking zone, but it was just moving about a little bit just before the corner, trying to get Tess to make some sort of a mistake. But how quick is that Aston Martin straight line? Well, it doesn't matter if you get a bad exit coming onto the Vegas Strip, which he did. Tess here then on Jamar. How quick is the Ferrari in a straight line? We're about to find out. He might actually be able to make that Ferrari quite difficult to overtake, but he needs to get good exits for the next 2 laps as well. This is going to be 2 very, very long laps for Jamar. Or is he trying to somehow bring Squidge into play here? It might not matter, because Tess might just send one down the inside. Thinks better of it as a championship to think about, but Jamar opens the door for him just before Tess backs out of it. But next overtaking opportunity comes just after the first sequence of corners. That'll mostly be to solidify position. No attack coming from Tess there, indicated quite early on. Still shows his front wing just on the right-hand side of Jamos's car in his right-hand mirror, but nothing showing as of yet, while Squidge has taken about 2 seconds out of this lead the last couple of laps. So then, very, very tricky. It all depends on the kind of exit that Jamar can get coming onto the Vegas Strip. And if Jamar could potentially just... Ah, here comes Noah, who tries something, runs the outside. That was the wrong line to take through there, because that move might have potentially been on for Noah. Just trying to get ahead of Tess, but he went for the wrong side. Tess was just able to squeeze him into, and a gap that was never really going to open up. Now then, Tess is significantly closer to the back of that Ferrari than it was on the previous attempt. Jamar already starting to have issues with his battery, and this is going to be relatively simple in the end for Tess, who's gone from P8 to P1, and now he'll have one defensive lap to do. Jamar knocks a bit of his front wing off. That is going to allow Noah to have a certain smell on that Ferrari as well. And as for the championship, if that happens, will the Ferraris maybe just pull a bit of a swap to give Squidge those extra 2 championship points and a very good race for them? For the constructors, we'll wait and see. But Noah right now hindering that swap. Jamar did an admirable job, but just wasn't quite enough to keep Tess at bay. Noah would want to have DRS on him one more time, but I believe Tess has just gone ahead by a little bit too much for Noah to be able to have any real chance of an attack down the Vegas Strip. But this has been a thoroughly entertaining sprint race over the last 9 laps. It's gone by rapidly, let me tell you that. Luna at the moment in P6, Matt in P5, Squidge in 4th, Jamar in 3rd, Noah in 2nd, and Tess is leading this race. Surely then, with only about 2-3 corners to go, 2 braking zones to go, Tess is not going to be letting this one go, as the Ferraris have made a swap. Squidge is up into P3 and will be starting P3 on the starting grid as well. That'll be of much benefit to him. It'll be 10 points coming home to Red Bull for Tess's championship campaign. There'll be a couple of points worth of gain on Squidge 2017 that he so desperately needed. Noah and Jamar did everything they could to keep the Red Bull driver behind, but it is so difficult when you got Tess coming up behind you. And it just wasn't quite enough in the end, but this format is very promising going forth. Squidge 2017 will come home in P3. It doesn't matter right now because Tess will win from P8 on the grid. 7 positions gained in 9 laps. Noah finishes P2 with Squidge in 3rd. Jamar finishes in 4th place. Matty in 5th with Luna in 6th. And Marina 2 points in 7th. And Recon for his first point of the season in P8. And that's where he'll start on the grid as well. Holman in 9th. Wigan in 10th. Followed by Iwatts, Makis, Ray, Djokovic in 14th, doing a bit of a recovery job there after a very poor start. Kit will be starting P15 on the field, followed by Wildcat in 16th, BT in 17th, Darren, difficult opening race of the season for him, P18, Wilco in 19th place. But that is an enjoyable format for sure, and it's only going to get more interesting the further on to the season we get, because the longer into the season we get, the faster the guys are going to be at the front of the field. P10 right now might be a little bit slower than they will be in about 10 races time. The next time we'll have multiple of these sprints, but wow, this will be an entertaining format indeed. So then, congratulations to Tess for the first sprint win in this season. Absolutely brilliant drive. Matty, Adam and Luna, big battle between them as well. Congratulating each other for that result. But crucially, it is Tess who comes home with the sprint win, followed by Noah with a couple of points there. Don't mind the point system displayed by the game, that's not what we run with. 10 points to Tess, 8 to Noah, and 6 to Squidge 2017. Alright then, we are just going to be going to a little bit of a break then. We're going to have to do a forced lobby restart before we get this Grand Prix going to set the grid order for what is coming up. So before we can do that, we'll have to go on a little bit of a break. Congratulations to Tess on the fastest lap as well, should be said. Yielding no points this race, however. So I'll be going to a couple of minutes worth of a break to set up the new lobby and the new grid order, so please stay with us for that. We'll be back in approximately 10 minutes time, you would hope, for the Grand Prix that is to come. 25 laps worth of racing around this Vegas street circuit, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back before not too long. Alright then everyone, we are back for the Vegas Grand Prix coverage after a little bit of a turnover time. I appreciate that took a long time. It's about a 10-minute wait approximately before sessions, which I'm overall quite happy with, but we are going to find ways to expedite that a little bit, I'm sure, over the course of the season. Thank you very much for your patience. We're going to be waiting a couple of minutes more whilst I'm yapping on, whilst everyone gets their setups on, etc, etc. But meanwhile, we'll be going through the grid order for you yet again, which I can't do as we've not loaded into the lobby properly, actually. So in a little bit, we'll be going through the grid order for the Vegas Grand Prix. After we've done that, I'm going to go have a drink of water and a big yawn, which is coming up anyways. Jesus Christ, it's getting late. That is not thanks to the incredible entertainment that we had during the sprint race, let me tell you that, because that was an exciting race for sure. And if you've just joined on to this stream, then go back on our YouTube channel within a day or two and check that out. It'll also be available on Twitch as soon as we've ended the stream for a very, very entertaining sprint race, let me tell you that. So here we go then for the starting grid and strategy. So everyone is still in the lobby. So this is the starting grid. We have Tess on pole position after winning the sprint race. We have Noah in P2 and Squidge in third. We have Jamar in fourth, Matty in fifth, followed by Luna and Raina and Recon were the last points finishers of the sprint race. Holman and Wigan just finishing outside in P9 and P10. Wigan starting on sprint pole position, just had a little bit of an issue. I don't know quite what happened, but lost a couple of positions and starting P10. Still within a points gain position though, if you can maintain that. Iwatts had a bit of a difficult time in the sprint as well, fell back a couple of positions from fourth, I believe. He's followed by Makis, Ray, Djokovic, Kit, Wildcat, BT, Darren, and Mr. Wilco, who had a very, very bad time during the sprint race. And he is starting last. Right then, I'm just going to go have a drink of water. It'll only be about a minute or two before we get this show going. Everyone will get their setups on and just have a bit of an extended breather, and I'll be right back with you. Alright then, the ready up has been triggered and we're about to go any minute now for the full 25 lap Vegas Grand Prix. 9 laps worth of the sprint race with no pit stops. The tyres holding on quite well, but you just saw that that bit of wheel spin coming off basically all the cars out of the heavy traction zones, which there are quite a couple around this place. It's quite easy to spin due to the curbs and due to the low grip nature of the circuit. So about 9 laps on these mediums is the minimum you're going to be able to take them. Got a couple of people starting on the hards. That is Wigan and Kit, followed by Makis on soft. Everyone else is going medium tires. Just thinking that's a bit interesting. Crucially for Tess though, that pole position with Noah in P2. Squidge in third though is going to be itching to get by the Aston Martin very, very fast. Jamar in fourth, what is he going to be able to do there? He's gotten off to a flying start this season, has SFLY Jamar, so he's going to be very, very happy with this. Matty in fifth, followed by Luna in sixth. Couple of points picked up during the sprint. No massive points hauls, but first points of the season to Luna, so she'll be happy. Followed by Emreina and Recon. I should add on that we can penalise people for incidents caused during the sprint race. That'll still drop them back positions from the sprint and cause them to potentially lose points, but obviously as the quick turnover nature of these events is, we cannot have any type of way to penalise people for the starting positions through the Grand Prix. So that'll be earned through the finishing order of the sprint, no matter if someone gets penalized later or not. Wigan 71 then, starting in P10. What is he going to be able to do in a bit of a longer race and bit? Oh, Jesus, I'm very, very sorry about that. As it's a bit of a longer race, less hectic, and everyone please close up. That's you, Recon. Close up to the back of the field. That's way too big of a gap, and you're not going at full pace. Close up to the rest of the field, buddy. So less hectic of a Grand Prix, or less hectic of a race format than last time out during the sprint. How is that going to suit different drivers? Kit W41 looking for his second points finish in NEF1, if I'm not mistaken. Is he going to be able to get that done here in Vegas? If he has a clean, calm race, it just might be so. We got very, very fast drivers in this league now, but points are definitely on the cusp for everyone in this league. Wildcat has been relatively anonymous so far in his tenure in NEF1. Is he going to be able to change that with a good result here for Williams? 1 point on the board now for Williams for Recon. I believe that's every team on the board points-wise as well this season, apart from Racing Bull, sorry. But what is that going to be for this Grand Prix? We shall wait and see. Keep an eye on Wildcat starting in P16, sorry. As here we go then, we have 5 red lights for the Las Vegas Grand Prix, and it is lights on, away we go. Noah gets a good start, so does Tess on the outside. And one of those Ferraris is Squidge. Gonna have a go at Noah into the first corner. No, but it's free wide. Luna spins round. And I don't think Squidge was quite wary that it were going free wide into that corner. Squidge, Jamar, and Luna collecting each other right of the start of that sequence. Luna has to get it back on circuit, but that'll be a massive frustration to the Spaniard in the Alpine, who had a very, very good sprint race. Has it all come undone in the first corner of the Vegas Grand Prix? Kit's had a very good start, up 5 positions. Only massive loser is Luna, and we have A33 BT, whose horrid time is continuing on now in a circuit in which he claimed pole position a couple of seasons back. Is going less well for him right now. Tesvan maintains the lead of the Grand Prix from Noah, Squidge, Jamer, and Matty. The top 5 remaining unchanged, and Reina claiming 1 position. That'd be due to Luna's misfortune off the start there with Squidge and Jamer, which means Luna must have gotten a good start to pull ahead of Matty Adam actually before turn 1. Only to see her plummet down the order just a bit later. Squidge Van is going to be itching to get by Noah as quick as he can. Test pulling away quite early in Kota, has the opportunity now to do the same in Vegas with another lap here, which is why Squidge has got to hurry up to get by Noah, who would be a bit slower than himself and Tess potentially. But Noah is keeping pace quite well here right now. Question is how much natural pace is that, and how much is he utilizing the tires and battery of that Aston Martin. The other Aston Martin currently 5 positions up in P9, so Djokovic is having his first good showing of the season right now. He's up in P9, starting in P14, and now lining up Recon beautifully for a little cheeky move on a straight, and that is Djokovic up into P8. Vintage Djokovic, just nice, calm, collected, moves straight past Recon as if he wasn't even there. Beautiful move there from Djokovic, who now has 3.3 seconds up to Holman, however. So it's a big gap in between the two, and I believe Darren might have had a problem coming out of the second sector, so I've got to send him Rain another invite. So just give me just one very quick moment. There we go. So then, Tess, Noah, and Squidge. Matty just on the cusp of Jamar in 4th place as well. Still be itching to get by. And where's the second McLaren? Ray W25 has had a difficult start to the season as Squidge has gone past Noah on the Vegas Strip. Yep, that is Squidge past Noah, and now up behind Tess at a corner where these two made contact just a season ago. Contact that did end up quite badly for Tess, must be said. Squidge still went on to take a win of that Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken. As for Tess, lost a significant amount of time. I'm not sure if he lost any positions due to it, though. So then, Djokovic right now hunting down Reina. He's gained up second in a lap, so he's putting on quite a good level of pace right now, is Djokovic. At a circuit where it is possible to overtake as well. So is Djokovic going to be able to fight his way into this Grand Prix? Right now it's a 5-horse battle for the lead of the Grand Prix. We're looking at a potential battle between Noah and Matty Adam in a couple of laps. It's crucial for Noah now to hang on to DRS advantage to Squidge. It's somehow even more important for Squidge to keep DRS advantage on Tess. If he loses that, Squidge is in a heap of trouble this race, because climbing back into that could prove quite difficult. So I don't believe any one of them will have DRS on this straight. DRS will open in just a moment. Noah does not have it. Squidge does have it. Noah doesn't. That is going to allow Matty a right little go down the back of the Vegas strip, and he gets that done before the braking zone. Nice, calm and collected, and Matty's up into P3 this race. Matty, the man who very well could have been champion last season, had the beginning of the season just gone a bit better for him. He just lacks that little bit of an edge that maybe Tess and Squidge has over him to allow them to win races at a more frequent race than Matty at the moment. Matty, 3 races if I'm not mistaken, or 4 race wins last season out. Needs to up that a little bit in order to be champion. Just needs to find that extra 10th of a second potentially on Tess and Squidge to be able to get those extra P1s. Matty overall one of the most complete drivers in NEF1, along with maybe Squidge and Tess. Noah 48 then still chasing that first win, but it is very far away with how quick both Tess, Squidge and Matty are. Very, very difficult to win a Grand Prix this season. But Matty with no DRS on Squidge right now, though he's 1.5 behind at a place where you really do need that DRS in order to follow through. So the question is Matty now going to lose a little bit on the 2 leaders, Squidge and Tess, pulling away 1.8, 1.9. With that DRS is going to get even further exaggerated as well. 2 seconds, 2.1 is going quite quickly now in the favor of the race leaders. Tess and Squidge holding positions. You just saw Squidge there on the in the middle of your screen just pull over to the left hand side, showing himself down the inside of Tess, but obviously way too far back to go for it, as Noah's been able to get past Matty Adam with the aid of DRS. Now is Matty going to come back at him into turn 1 potentially? Depends on how bold you want to be on the brakes, but I don't think Matty's going to be risking that one in a Grand Prix where I think he'll be quite happy with a podium the way things are looking right now. Djokovic's doing the job as well. It's brought that gap down to 1.6 seconds to Hulman, who is currently being massively held up potentially by Reina by the look of things. We'll wait and see. Reina doing the job in the Mercedes for the time being. Having sorted out the internet issues hopefully from last season, not really evident tonight with the reconnection issues, but hopefully. But it's a different Reina this season, it feels like, just a bit more consistent and a bit more consequent on everything he is doing. It'll be lovely to see his progress throughout this season. Holman as well, second full season newer now. What is he going to be able to do? Currently sitting in P7 behind Reina. They have Djokovic, a 3-time NEF1 champion, chasing them down. Noah is 2.1 seconds behind Squidge and Tess now. They need to do something if they want to catch back up. 2.4 seconds, 2.5 seconds. As here we go then, Squidge rounds the outside of Tess into the braking zone after the strip, not able to make that work, and Squidge just getting on the throttle a bit too early through the corner where they made contact 1 season ago now, and just has to back out of it. Tess holding position, but that's exactly the type of fighting that Matty Adam will want, as the gap has closed from 2.6 to 1.8 as Matty's reclaimed a position on Noah 48. Jamar right now is running a race in a bit of his own at the moment in P5. It's 10 points to Jamar. Another couple of points in the sprint will be a very, very decent points haul for Jamar and Ferrari if they can keep this going. And Ferrari, which right now look dominant in the Constructors' Championship. Ray and Iwatts had a good time out last week, should be said, in Kota. Less so right now in Vegas. Ray is having a very, very difficult start to this season. He needs to find something. He needs to do it quite quick before McLaren lose too much ground on the guys ahead of them. If this goes on for another 2-3 weekends, that gap might just be insurmountable with the level of performances that Jamar's consistently putting up right now this season. Doing a mega job in that Ferrari. Here we go then. Recon is chasing down Iwatts then for another point position. That is P10 to P9, the battle we're looking at. Kit just on the back of Recon though. He wants to sniff out the points as well. There's a big train. There's a big train from Iwatts all the way down to Mr. Wilco in 15th place. This is the battle we are currently following. And Kit's around the back of Recon actually. A lot of battery. Throws it down the inside. Grounds to make the move. Just outbreaks himself a little bit. Elbows out. Forces his way by Recon though round the outside. That is a nice defense by Recon, who's just a bit more comfortable on traction. Kit down the inside through the final little kink just before the start finish straight. Is he going to send one down the inside of turn 1 as well? No, he has to think better of it, and now he allows the Haas of Wigan to maybe come around this outside. Recon goes a little bit deep. Kit snatches that position away, and it's given Iwatts a bit of breathing room as well. That is a good overtake set up by Kit there over a couple of corners, and we had a problem at the back. Was that Mac is potentially going into a wall and losing a front wing end plate? Yes, it was. Darren Style in the pit lane then for the first time this race, and it's a new front wing going on the Haas. It's Mr. ABT, I believe, is just running around there right now, hoping for a safety car. That was a nice little move by Kit there on Recon. It's lost a further position to Wigan, and you would imagine that damaged front wing might have anything to do with it. And did he pick up that damage potentially in the battle with Kit just about a lap ago? I wouldn't have an answer for you right now on that. Wigan in P11 then, just on the fringes of the points. Djokovic is now caught up to the back of Holman and Reina. Took a couple of laps. Lap 7 out of 25 in a race that is significantly different from the sprint race that we just had a little while ago. Very, very different actually. Much calmer type of racing. Djokovic now has a good run on Holman down to turn 1. Is he going to go for it? He is going to go for it potentially. Nah, just backs out of it. Maybe the wisest move there by Djokovic. Oh, I was hoping for a lunge into turn 1 there. Would have been beautiful to see. But we've seen this move by Djokovic once before already this race. We might just see it again. Take the tight line through that sweeping right-hander and just let the car come to you on the DRS straight. And gets that move done for a second time. Last time he touched the wall, he's learned from that this time around, just slowing it down even further, keeping the car well and truly controlled, forcing Holman in behind him, and now he's just on the fringe of that DRS on Reina, but I think Djokovic has got the natural pace in this car today to just be able to climb that back pretty steadily and pretty confidently as well. Yeah, he's gaining time on Reina. He's gaining time on Reina fast. What is the problem with Reina right now? He's under AI control is the problem, which means Djokovic can just go straight through and we'll give him an invite back again. This turning into a bit of a problem for Reina this evening, as Djokovic is going to be saying thank you very much for that. So is Holman. Djokovic's got to be wary of that now. That has thankfully not interrupted things too bad. It's cost Reina a couple of positions, but not too bad in the whole prospect of things. Iwatts is maintained P9, I was going to say, as Wigan and Kit. This was the battle I was meant to be commenting on. Makes contact. Wigan and Kit makes contact through the final couple of corners. Wigan sideways manages to catch that. Kit losing quite a bit of pace, and now it's almost... Are they going to go free wide into turn 1? I believe they just might be. Ray on the outside, Kit on the inside, has to be wary. Wigan plays that beautifully, plays his car in the middle of the circuit, doesn't allow anyone to get ahead of him, and this is where the racing experience of Wigan is so crucial. Just keeping calm in that situation. Ray tucks in behind him, Kit losing a position there to Ray. Mr. Wilco in P13 is in this battle as well, and he's misjudged that as Mr. Wilco, and that is not ideal. Yellow flags in sector 1, who's now got to get that car turned around as well. That is poor from Mr. Wilco, evidently, from what we could see, just being too late on the brakes, trying to do something about it, and I think he did quite well to just spin himself around there and not Kit, but all felt that bump at quite aggressively. He will have felt that bump from Mr. Wilco behind, and that will be investigated after the race. But here we go then, we got stuff going on at the front of the race whilst this is going on. The battle at the front usually heats up in the last couple of laps, which is why I don't pay too much attention to it right now. Squidge has taken the lead of the Grand Prix just as he's coming into the pit lane on lap 9 of 25, and I believe Squidge did the same thing last season out. Tess waited a little bit to go into the pit lane then. He's doing the same now. Is he maybe just trying to go a bit longer on this stint? It's a certain one-stopper then. But on hard tyres that are evidently quite handy. The problem for Squidge right now is he's caught behind Iwat, who might just be able to slow the Ferrari man down a little bit through the next sector where it is very difficult to overtake. Iwat's not really fighting anyone right now. There's nothing stopping him from parking the bus completely this next sector. We'll see what's what. And that could allow Tess a little gap to slot into during a pit stop. We shall wait and see what goes on now. And that is one stationary Red Bull coming out of sector 2. And Squidge says, I will be having none of that, and try to make a move immediately. I don't think it's going to be able to pull that move off, though. It's going to be one bold move if he throws it down the inside there, which he just does. Iwat's not going to be able to defend it too much, but has that caused enough damage to his overall time to allow Tess to make a pit stop? Or will that undercut work regardless? We shall wait and see, because you would assume that Tess is just about to come into the pits this lap. Yes, he is. Now, what is going to happen? As Iwat has somehow found himself ahead of Squidge again, and he's not rushing to get out of that final corner. Now let's see. He's heading into the pit lane, indicates that quite early, but when will Tess come out? Will he be able to make it out ahead of Squidge 2017 and have a massive advantage? Squidge just now heading into turn 1. This is going to be close on the exit. Squidge will carry the momentum through and just take the lead of the Grand Prix side by side with each other. Coming onto the exit and make contact. Tess on the outside, Squidge on the inside. Tess with the slightly better but colder tyres now. But Squidge has just gotten away with that, as here comes Matty down the inside of Tess as well, and they're free. They're free, dueling away in one single corner, and now Matty is feeling an opportunity on Squidge potentially to try to snatch this lead of the Grand Prix away from Squidge on lap 11. Tess just getting unlucky there. Another 0.2 of a second, he would have been out and would have been clear. How fortune favours the Ferrari so far this season. Matty Adam now, what will he be able to do down the Vegas Strip? Squidge right now in a very vulnerable position. He's got two cars within about half a second of him. Wiggins up to 4th place as well, so he made a very early pit stop. No, he's not stopped yet. He started on that hard tyre and Noah's about to come flying past him. But everyone now on the hard tyres, then, apart from one. As Matty has taken the lead of the Grand Prix from Squidge and Tess. So Squidge only losing one position down that Vegas Strip. Not too bad though for him. How the battle's going on regardless. Luna, after that really poor start, we saw her out of contention in turn 1 now. Up back fighting for the points. 4.5 behind Iwatts though, with a long way to go this Grand Prix. A lot can still happen, and this would be some recovery drive by Luna if she's able to get this back into the points. If this some recovery drive this evening should be said as well by Djokovic, who right now has clawed his way and is not too far behind his teammate this Grand Prix, which could create an interesting dynamic as well should he catch up to the back of him, because Djokovic clearly has the pace to do quite a bit this Grand Prix. Keep in mind where he started, he's not too far behind the leaders right now. And will Noah potentially try to help out a little bit in the battle against Wigan and Jamar? Wigan, not really a battle. He's going to be coming into the pit lane within a couple of laps. But Jamar might be a bit more tricky to see if you can back Djokovic. Oh, sorry, Jamar into Djokovic if you're Noah in a situation like this. We'll wait and see. We're just less than halfway through this Grand Prix, so there's a long way still to go. As Tess is just going to pass Matty Adams, so is Squidge 2017, and on the final start-finish straight, Matty makes contact with Tess, who just slams the door a little bit on him. Matty showed his front wing there. Tess wasn't having any of it, and that could have ended in an airplane crash. Lucky it didn't. That was, let's just say, entertaining to begin with. Here we go then, Tess Van defending away from Matty. Squidge holding station in P1. For the battle with Marina and Holman right now. They're on the back of Djokovic still, trying to catch him. 2 seconds now up to Wigan, his former teammate, and Favre ahead of him. So what is Djokovic and Wigan? I don't think Wigan's going to make it necessarily too difficult on Djokovic. Not teammates anymore, but I don't think Wigan feels there's too much to fight for things the way they are. But he's not in a bad predicament to be on when he goes on those medium tires. However, he might have one big train to clear, which is the problem around this circuit. It's the DRS trains. Very, very tricky to find yourself out of. So I'm sure Luna is right now experiencing being behind Kit and Ray. Iwatts at the moment doing a job holding station in P10. He's not racing anyone right now. 6 seconds up to Marina, 7 seconds down to Kit. But it's just solid from Iwatts this evening. Not doing any mistakes, just doing his own race at a track where it is very, very difficult to do so. As the order between the top three changes every single lap right now. It is Matty, Tess, then Squidge. It is Squidge, Matty, or Squidge, Tess, then Matty. And right now it is Tess, Matty, then Squidge. As Wigan comes into the pit lane on lap 14, you would imagine medium tires going on. And that has just released this race a little bit, because now Djokovic is free. Free to chase after Jamar. 3.8 seconds up in 10 laps. It's half a second per lap almost, but it is not undoable. And Marina's back in this race as well, back behind Holman and Djokovic. A bit unlucky for him, but still within contention for good points here. P6 worth 8 points, plus fastest lap at the moment, which currently is being occupied by whom is my question. Currently belongs to Squidge. See if anyone outside the top 10 decides to go for that as we're coming up to the end of this race. Noah right now running a race on his own in P4. Jamar is just going to be looking at that Aston Martin coming up behind him, as now Holman might have actually hindered that plan a little bit with an overtake on the Aston Martin. That's actually gained them time from 3.8 to 3.4, and if they can synchronize do this to get up to Jamar, it's a different thing. If they keep battling each other, then they'll just slow each other down. We'll wait and see. Djokovic 0.2 of a second behind and looking quite itchy to get by once again. As Luna then is heading into the pit pit lane. Did Luna start on hard tires? No, that's 11 lap old hards that I'm sure she put on after her initial incident. So that is Luna. Should she maybe have held on for a safety car late on there? And hard tires going on again. Stuck in the pit lane as well before we get going. Don't quite know why. But then that is potentially the end of Luna's unit. That should be medium tires on Vara Alpine in my opinion. But we'll see how those hards perform. They're a couple of laps newer than everyone else, about 5 laps newer than everyone else's tires. Let's see. Quite a bit of ground to clear, but points will be difficult. Points will be very, very difficult. However, there is that fastest lap point as a consolidation. Matty right now running a very, very good race, P5 to P2. Might make that P1 just now. 1/10 of a second behind Tess coming into turn 1, which is not really an overtaking zone this Grand Prix. Go back to the battles ongoing. It is Holman, Djokovic, and Reina. They're not really catching Jamar at the moment. Noah's losing a bit on the leaders, which is to be expected right now. Jamar's holding station to Noah, and Holman and Djokovic is not really gaining anything on Jamar. They're gaining by about 10.42 per lap, but it's not enough in this at this rate to catch him by the end. It must be said, it's a brilliant recovery drive this from Djokovic regardless, seeing how his sprint went. It's a brilliant recovery drive to potentially bag his first points of the season. As for Ray right now, crucially in the points for the first time this season if he can keep this home. That'd be absolutely crucial for AW25. Formerly Van Samo Bamo if you're a long-time viewer of NEF1. I hope you're enjoying the stream. It's quite an interesting Vegas Grand Prix this, as here we go. Tess and Matty going into the same corner at the same time, and Tess is just emerging victorious in that. Matty just had to change his line a little bit there. Was heading straight for the wall, had to back out of it, and that might have allowed Squidge an opportunity should he have pleased it, but I don't think anyone really fancies doing a move into turn 1 tonight. But you could just see there, if you go back, Matty's heading straight for the wall on the inside there that I believe Tess and Squidge found last season. Matty was heading straight for it, had to make a little bit of a correction. Squidge just on his back as that happened, but no moves. Almost like a code of conduct for this Vegas Grand Prix. Let's not pull any moves on each other up in turn 1 and risk anything. But it is this top 3 that you are very, very used to seeing right now, and no one really gets close to them. As for a podium, it's going to be difficult for anyone really to break a podium this season, apart from these 3 who we're going to see up here time and time again. Keep in mind, this is a safety car-less Grand Prix right now. 17 laps out of 25. No retirement so far in Vegas. Quite surprising. But even still, they've broken away a 7.6 second advantage over Noah, who is still very, very fast. Here we go then, with Recon on kit for the last non-points paying positions. That's P11, P12. Just checking, I think Luna's just gotten by 1980s Wildcat at the moment. Wildcat is having a difficult time so far adapting to NEF1, the first 2 races. Currently sitting in P18. He's having quite quiet races currently. But it's just not getting that pace to work. Around this track as well, very, very difficult, not a quite normal track, and I believe it's taken the same lines I was through that little corner just then. A very, very difficult track this. We'll see how Wildcat can rebound next week out. As Luna now, another move on Mr. Wilco, and finds herself in the escape road. Just catching herself a little bit unaware, and that is Luna in P18, and maybe in the territory of time to box for soft tyres and go for the fastest lap point to get a point on the board for Alpine this season. Oh, sorry, point on the board for Alpine this season. She already has in the sprint race, mind you, but get another point on the board for Alpine this season. There are points available as Tess is broken away somehow. 1.2 seconds worth of an advantage over Matty Adams. Squidge will have to use the DRS in order to close that down. I don't think Matt will fight it too hard. He knows what's at stake now. They need to get up to Tess immediately before he can start breaking away. Tess could bag a maximum points haul in this sprint race event. Squidge in P2 now, 1.3 seconds behind. It's a straight duel then for P2 between Squidge and Matty. That is not ideal, but I don't know quite how it's happened. Tess, very, very fast. 1 lap newer tyres. Is that just starting to show? Because now he is pulling away, and he is pulling away rather quickly. Wow, 1.2 seconds down to 1.5. Very, very fast within the span of a sector there. And we're still coming up to the technical bits. What is Tess doing that is so efficient? How are they so incredibly fast? 1.6 seconds now. That might have just given Tess the rest he needs in order to be able to control this race to the checkered flag. Which will give us a quite straightforward battle for P2. Those freeway battles are usually quite hard to judge, but we'll wait and see. Still a couple of laps worth of racing within a safety car window. Still is Djokovic 2.3 seconds behind Jamar, but he's not able to close that gap. As here comes Holman on Djokovic then, just in the background there, but not quite close enough to make a move. I believe they're just now going to be holding station. At a certain point around this place, you just stop attacking in the 2-3 last laps before that final lap. In order not... It's a long game of DRS chicken coming up to the final laps, and I believe we're starting to see that phase come into play now. So, Matty and Squidge, 2 seconds behind Tess now. That's going to be difficult to bring home on a good day. Right now for Tess is seemingly a very, very good day. Very, very good right now. Starting from P10 as well. Sorry, P8 on the field. Took the sprint race win, and now he's controlling this Vegas Grand Prix after some sort of a mistake, you would imagine, by either Matty or Squidge. Just slowed each other down a little bit. Now it's controlling this race by 2 seconds and growing. It was doing the same thing in Kota as well. Tess is a man on a mission to reclaim his championship, becoming the only second ever 2-time NEF1 champion behind this man we're currently riding on board with. No one's ever been a back-to-back champion of NEF1 as well. In 10 seasons of running, it's not happened. And Tess is making his damn sure it's not going to happen this season as well. We're only 2 races in, though. A lot can still happen. It can swing so very quick. It's right now then half a second taken out of Tess's lead in a single lap. Is that going to regrow? We shall wait and see. There's Jamar controlling this race, and it's actually caught the back of Noah 48 right now as well. So Jamar, he's doing everything he needs to do to keep Djokovic in control, and right now, significantly faster than Noah. The gap that was a couple of seconds a while back is now decreased to less than 1 second. That's just gonna hand out one last invite this event. There we go. Okay, so the situation is Noah's being chased down by Jamar, is being chased down by Djokovic, who's being chased down by Holman, who now might have created a little bit of breathing room to Reina with connection issues. iWatts will try to capitalize on this. It is very, very hard to do so with this few laps to go. Ray right now currently sitting in P10 with Wigan just behind him. We got the fastest lap point in swing as well. That currently goes to Squidge 2017 in P2. He is 2.4 seconds behind the race lead, and with 3 laps to go, that is not going to be clawed down without a mistake from the right now championship leader, if I'm not mistaken. Surely Tess will be taking the championship lead after a result like this. But as for Ferrari, they are doing such a good job in the constructors right now. You would imagine they're going to be pulling away a little bit. So we have yellow flags. I believe there was a Moreno who might have had an issue. Now 9.4 seconds back from Holman. So that little battle has died. However, it might have invited iWatt into the conversation. 3 seconds now. If Moreno keeps doing stuff like that, iWatt is going to be straight on him towards the back end of this race. 2.3 seconds and decreasing. Ray 2 seconds behind. Could he even get involved in this? Shall wait and see. As Recon now, new soft tires going on, and attempt at the fastest lap point for sure for Recon. Kit on medium tires. Is he going to be able to do the same on that medium? It's going to be very, very difficult. Here we go then. We have Tess Squidge and Matty Adam running in formation. Matty a couple of seconds back, or sorry, a couple of tenths of a second back on Squidge, who massively locks up into the braking zone following the Vegas strip. Jamar at a little bit of a distance from Noah. What I'm a bit curious about is this Noah just backing up a little bit? Is Jamar catching Noah, or is Noah starting to try to back up Jamar into Djokovic and make this a 3-way fight for P4? We'll wait and see. Noah with aspirations on that P4 in the standings, certainly. P3, I'm going to say, is almost unobtainable when you have the top 3 that we have in this league right now. But that 4th in the standings will feel like a championship to some. So we have something going on between the racing, but we have someone going very, very slow in Sector 2. That is BT, who has a puncture, as a right rear puncture. It's not often we see punctures in NEF1. Somehow, BT's ended up with a flat tire with not too long to go for the pit lane, but it has coming up, and this race has really gone from bad to worse for BT, who's now got to control this car around the next couple of corners. Long way to go to the traffic coming up behind him. At least this is coming at a time where it's perfect for BT to just be able to go in and fit soft. But it is very, very unfortunate for BT, who's struggling to control the car with the leaders coming up, but they're not going to be able to quite catch him. 2.8 seconds is the gap from Tess to Squidge, and he has controlled this race ever since he got out in front Tess and got that second advantage. He's just been expanding that lead, and he did the same thing in Kota when he could only really ruin this race by a strategy call that he made when the late safety car came out. Jamar has gotten by Noah actually for P4. Noah now behind Djokovic as well. So Jamar right now up in 4th place. Something must have happened for Noah really right now. He's dropped a significant amount of time. As Holman and Noah make contact, and this race has gone from P4 for Noah down to P7 and out of contention for anything higher in a hurry. What has happened to Noah these last 2 laps? It's a collapse from Noah. To look at that red dot just moving upwards in Sector 2 right now, that's where Noah was just 1 lap ago. And he's found himself 10 seconds behind. Contact with Holman that I'm sure will be investigated after the race as well. Now Djokovic and Jamar in a fight for the final place outside the podium. Djokovic must be said driver of the day performance right now, making his way from P14 up to P5, and has driven his way up in P5 as well. Nothing else can be said. No strategy calls involved in this. He has driven that car up into that position. Jamar also doing a massive job. Started P4, and he might well finish P4. We have one more lap to go at the end of this one, and Tess is going to be controlling it. Matty and Squidgevan are going to be battling it out for P2 here. Matty, maybe the driver with the most P2s in any F1 history, is looking to make it one more. And he's going to hate the fact that I'm saying this, but it might just spur him on a little bit. We'll wait and see. Everyone inside the top three, one-time NEF1 champions, one man, current champion, one man, champion of Season 2. That was 10 seasons ago now. It's old versus new right now. New wins out, but we're going to have one battle to decide this, as we have a Williams going for a fastest lap attempt, knocking a bit of his front wing off. Is that 1980s Wildcat potentially? Yes, it is. So he's just going to have to bring this home at the end. Okay then, one final battle to go. Matty versus Squidge. Looking at the fastest lap right now, still belonging to Squidge 2017. We'll see if that changes. It'll be bad news for Squidge if it does. Here we go then. Both drivers will have charged up the battery to the max. It's all about the exit. Squidge doesn't get the best exit. Tess gets a very good exit probably. And he's storming to the win of this Grand Prix. Matty versus Squidge though, down into the final corner. Squidge is giving it everything he has. Matty is giving it everything he has with that DRS. Is he going to be able to round the outside? Yes, he is. This Squidge going to try something down the inside on the brakes. He can't. Matty surely will secure that P2 unless he does anything on the exit. But this race could only be won by one. As soon as he got out front, he's controlled it like a champion. Tess wins his first race of the season. What could have been a win last time out turned up a win this time, and Tess wins the Vegas Grand Prix, and he wins the sprint as well. Matty comes home to finish P2, Squidge in third. Djokovic maneuvers his way up into fourth place, just less than a tenth of a second to Jamar in fifth. Brilliant race by the pair of them. Djokovic, driver of the day performance, 10 positions up, drove his way up to P4. That is a Djokovic of old performance. Holman in 6th, followed by Noah in 7th. He'll be very, very disappointed with that. Iwatts up in 8th place. Ray, 2 points. First points for Ray this season, if I'm not mistaken, in 9th. And then Reina in 10th for the final points paying position of the race. Wigan just outside in 11th, followed by the second Mercedes of Marcus. Kit was looking good for points at one stage during the Grand Prix. Wasn't quite to be. He finishes in P13. Then we have Darren Stahl for a P14, his first Grand Prix this season, followed by Recon, Luna, Mr. Wilco, Wildcat, and a BT. As for that fastest lap right now, it is going to none other than a 33 BT for Racing Bull's first points of the season, and that would be every team on the board as well. Luna snatches the fastest lap away at the last moment of asking. And there's not going to be a fastest lap for Mr. Wilk, I can tell you that, with that pace coming off the start-finish straight. Luna with 1 point this Vegas Grand Prix, which was fairly deserved by the effort that she put in as well. Tess snatches away the win in Vegas. Matty with P2 and Squidge with P3. And this does very, very interesting stuff to the championship. But it is such a good weekend for Tess, and he really has been brilliant so far this season. It's an all-British podium once again, the same podium that we had last week out, and the same podium we are going to have many a time this season, so get used to those three being on the top of it. We will only see in what order they finish out next time out. When we are going, if I am not mistaken, to one of my favorite places of the season, we are heading to Interlagos and Brazil. and a place that Matty likes very, very much, must be said. Driver of the day, according to the game, goes to Djokovic. I'm inclined to agree. An absolutely brilliant performance by the Swede, who took home 12 points this Grand Prix for his first points of the season, up from P14 to P4, and drove his way there. Fantastic drive. It is a fantastic race all around here in Vegas once again. Wigan just finishing outside those points. A couple of investigations to come, I'm sure. Luna with the fastest lap point, the second fastest lap handed out of the season. It's 1 point to the Alpine driver, and right now, if I'm not mistaken, Racing Bull's the only team yet to score a point, but that I'm sure will change within the next couple of weeks. Right now, though, we focus our attention on Tess and his brilliant Vegas weekend to see out this edition of NEF1 Esports, and we will be back next time out in Brazil in 7 days' time at 9 p.m. sharp on a Monday night. Do not miss that for one of the best races constantly on the season. We will see you then. Don't go anywhere. Stay put. We'll be back in 7 days' time for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and peace out. Thank you very much for watching again.